Welcome to the Like a DOS podcast, where Ronnie Doss shares insights regarding life, leadership, and personal development. For more of our resources, visit ronniedoss.com. Now, let's join the podcast.
Hey there, it's Ronnie Doss. Welcome to the Like a DOS podcast. Today, I want to give you 5 things that I shared this morning on a Facebook Live that I did. I called it my 5 before 5. I had a coaching client at 5 a.m. I was up at 3:45 today. I was writing some notes, studying, and doing what I do to get my day in order so I can make good things happen throughout the day. And so I shared this 5 on 5, and I want to elaborate on some of it, but I want to give you the 5 here. If you didn't see it on the Facebook Live, you can check that out if you'd like to. It's on the Ronnie Doss page. But 5 things. Let me give you this first one. For 2020, this has really been kind of a theme for my life, but for 2020, you've got to decide that you're not going to live a boring life. A boring life. Like, the question you could ask yourself is, like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do differently this year? Like, do you have any goals set? So my daughter and I were sitting in the bed the other night. We sat down together. I went and got the laptop. And I asked her, I said, Addison, where do you want to go? If you want to travel somewhere, where would you like to see? And so we've narrowed it down to either going on a family trip to Paris or we're going to London. And this is because this is where Addison wanted to go. And so we're going to put this down as a goal for this year to travel as a family to one of those 2 places. And I was just talking to her about, if you don't have some sort of a goal or a vision for where you could go or somewhere that's possible, then you wind up never going there. Like, you don't just wind up in places accidentally unless you're lost. Like, if you get lost, you make some wrong turns, you wind up in some area that maybe you didn't expect to be in. But I think for life to really have some real meaning and some significance, you got to figure out where it is you want to go, what you want to do. And so setting some goals to go see some things. Like, for us, my family, I want to do that. I want to create memories, create experiences. It's not just about, like, giving them toys or gifts. Like, some people are great at ordering stuff and having things shipped to their friends or their family or their team. And, they're just items that wind up getting dusty and old. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with gifts. I love gifts. But I think for our family, one of the things that I'm really clear on is that we need to be creating some experiences and that we don't want to have a boring life. And now, does that take money? You bet. Absolutely. But can we allocate funds towards things like that? Put some money aside for a trip, so that you don't feel the pinch of it, when it's time to go on the trip? Yeah, absolutely. Planning ahead. And so, with our world, the world's getting smaller. You can get on an airplane. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can see anything that you want to see just with a little bit of planning and preparation. Like, it's amazing. And so living a boring life, that's a choice. Like, if you're just getting up and going to work and doing the same thing over and over again, not going and seeing anything else, it's like, why the heck did you choose that? Like, I've been doing this for so long now. Well, great. Well, you can change it tomorrow. Like, one thing can change the trajectory of your life. So if you decide you're not going to have a boring life, you can do something differently that helps you to move forward into a more compelling type of approach. Yeah, I shared the quote by Mary Kay Ash. She said, "A mediocre idea that inspires people is better than a great idea that inspires no one." And so I guess the question would be, does the way you live your life, would that be inspiring to anybody? Does it inspire other people to want to take action and do better? Not that you have to, but are you doing that? It's like, really, is your life compelling? Is it inspiring to other people? And if it is, right, great. Do whatever you need to do to keep inspiring people. Inspire yourself. You're worth it also. And so that's the first thing. Second thing I shared in this 5 before 5 was that not everybody's going to understand your goals or your dreams anyway. So don't worry about it. Some people don't even have the capacity to encourage you. They don't even have the words. They don't know how to encourage you. They don't know what they would say. Like, not a lot of people do what I do, per se. No one in my family has ever done what I do. Like, my friends, they don't do what I do. And so it's different. And so I don't expect people to really understand it and speak to me in a way that I would need it. I just learn to encourage myself. I encourage myself, getting focused on where it is I want to go, talking to myself, filling my mind with good stuff, so that I can stay encouraged and in a good spot. Am I perfect at it? No, but I'm good at it because I know what the alternative is. It's sucking at it. And if I'm really not good and I suck at encouraging myself and I'm negative all the time, then the results I'm going to produce are going to be negative. And so that's something we need to consider, right? You really do need to consider. It's like, are you just frustrated because other people aren't encouraging you? Well, you encourage yourself, right? Other people aren't going to understand your dreams. That's all right. Get after it. I heard this quote also. In the beginning, they ask you why. Later on, they ask you how. And so in the beginning, they're like, why are you doing this? Like the why. But then after you create some success, they're like, wow, how did you do that? Right? So it goes from why to how. That's where you're going to be, and as you keep moving forward and doing what you know you need to do. Number three, third thing, you've got to see yourself as $1 million vehicle. Now, we live in Scottsdale, Arizona, moved here about 4 months ago. There's some exotic cars around here. There's some incredible houses. I love it out here. I love the climate. I don't know why I'm explaining to you Scottsdale, but we like it. It's hot as all get out during the summer. I know that. But I like being out here. I like what I see. I've always loved the desert and the boulders and the rocks. Like that, it's intriguing to me. And I've always loved it when I started coming out here. And so there's some houses out here that are mind-blowing. There's some cars out here that, go blowing by that are $500,000, $1 million vehicles. I see them often. And, some people treat a car better than they treat themselves. Some people have championship horses. Some people treat their dogs better than they treat themselves. And so you've got to see yourself as $1 million vehicle, which would mean if you had $1 million car and you were going to drive it, and you are driving yourself every single day, right? If you're doing that, you'd have to put the right type of fuel in. And so you've got to put good things in. You got to take care of the car if you want it to get you from point A to point B. You got to take care of you. You got to stop feeding yourself junk. Like, stop eating garbage. Stop putting sugar in your body. If you know that you don't feel good, your energy levels are low, if you know you're not taking care of yourself, you got to stop all that now. Like, nobody's going to do it for you. Like, all the information in the world is not going to fix or change you. It's not just information. You got to take action on information. Stop feeding yourself junk in the form of food. Stop feeding your brain junk food. Stop sitting around watching TV. Like, for me, this is just me. I know some of my friends are going to kill me for this one, but like sitting around cheering on a team, like a college team or a pro team or whoever, like hoping that they're going to score a touchdown and all that, and you're not like scoring touchdowns in your own life, like you aren't achieving your own goals, like why would you waste your time focusing on people that aren't worried about you at all when you're not achieving the things that you need to be achieving? Like you're just putting junk in your mind. Like you're sitting around in front of a TV watching other people win while your results are diminishing. Like, I don't know. I mean, like if you're winning and you got balance and you're doing well, great. Then watch whatever you're going to watch. I mean, you're going to anyway. But like, just know that you need to feed yourself well. And a lot of that has to do with what you're watching and what you're listening to. So here's the fourth thing on our 5 before 5. Your favorite word needs to be no. Like, you got to start saying no to things. When you start saying no to some things, that means you're saying yes to other things. When you say no to one thing, that means you can say yes to something else. You can't say yes to both things at one time. Like, you can only give so much of your time to things and so much of your focus. You got to learn to say no. Maybe you don't need to be a people pleaser anymore. Maybe you stop being manipulated, stop being used. You say yes because you're afraid somebody's going to get mad at you, and now you live your whole life. Somebody else is pulling your strings all the time. Like a puppet, you're bouncing around doing stuff for everybody else, and you're not doing anything for you. Like, it sounds a little bit selfish, but when you know your motives are right, you got a good heart, and you're doing the right things, sometimes you got to be selfish. Like, it's okay to be selfish when you've got a good agenda, a pure agenda, like you're doing it for the right reasons. It's okay to say no to things. Success has started with a yes. It's maintained with a lot of no's. You got to learn to say no to things that aren't serving you and helping you to get to where you want to go. You got to think greater good. Here's the last thing. Number 5. 5 for 5. Happy New Year. It's game on. You got to be a better friend. This is number 5, be a better friend. I mentioned in the Facebook Live that I did that I went and sat with my good friend Kevin, and Kevin and I were talking, and it's really awesome. Like, Kevin sits me down, and he's asking me about business, how I can make some tweaks and some adjustments. He's like, people need more of what you have for sure, and so let's look at some things that you can maybe do differently. And we sit there and we talked, and we talked about his business and what he does. I mean, it was a very reciprocal type of conversation. But I could tell that he was really interested in helping me to do what we do. And I thought, it's really cool to have friends around you that are supportive of what you're doing. But if you want good people around you, you got to be a good person. If you want a friend, you got to be a friend. And so if you want people to support you, encourage you, believe in you, you got to support, encourage, and believe in them, right? And take time to do that. It can't always be a withdrawal. Some people are great at just using other people. Like, they're not really building people. They're just using people to build an agenda. And I know those types of people. I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't think you need to be that type of person. I think we all need to be better friends. We need to check in with the people that we're closest to, ask, is there anything you need that I can support you with? And then at that point, do something. Do something differently. It's the small things that go a really, really long way. And so I would recommend for 2020 just deciding you're going to be a better friend. And so let me give you these 5, and then we're done. And then you can go to my website and check out some of our video. We got some cool stuff. We got another event coming up here very soon in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm excited to roll out the details on that. It's going to be another one-day training. And so that's exciting. Let me give you these 5 really quickly. Life can't be boring. That's not what you want. That was number 1. Your life can't be boring. Number 2, not everybody's going to understand your dreams. Remember, number 3, treat yourself like $1 million vehicle. And number 4, learn to say no. And the 5th thing was, we just talked about that, be a better friend. And so if this has helped you at all, please share this, like it, do whatever you need to do. Help us get this information out there. We want to make an impact. We are making an impact, and we appreciate who you are. We appreciate you giving us some time to share and speak into your life. My family says hi. We're wishing you a happy new year. It's going to be a great new year. I look forward to seeing you at one of our upcoming events. Go to ronniedoss.com, get some of our video stuff. Like it, share it. It's awesome. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.